Americans turn to NBC News than any other news organization.
KUAM TVH, first on Guam.
KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adahi Tano program. Apply at matson.com. Cars Plus, where it's Hyundai holidays going on now. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime. A Jigo business ends the year hit by burglars, the company now asking the public for help. Plus, the past couple of weeks have been noisy as the island prepares to ring in the new year, the chief of police with a warning to revelers. And the clock is ticking for Gov Guam to identify how to spend ARP funding. Will the administration keep its promise to meet the deadline?
Half day and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz-Lingus. Thank you so much for starting your week here with us. A break-in at the Uptown Pub and Grill in Jigo has the owner turning to the community for help.
The crime occurring over the weekend caught on cameras showing the suspects in the act. Jonah Gacharfris has more.
At least 3 people caught on camera breaking into the Uptown Pub and Grill in Jigo, the burglary taking place sometime between 2:14 a.m. and 4 a.m. on Saturday, December 28th. You can see one individual wearing a red shirt, black shorts, a black and white cap with a black shirt or jacket tied around their waist. Another wearing a long-sleeve black shirt, black shorts, black shoes, and a backwards blue cap. The last individual seen wearing a white t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black and white cap, a black shirt around his neck, and appears to be barefoot. The thieves taking off in a white sedan. Owner Tom Regis says the burglary taking place after all patrons and staff left.
I came in early that morning and found one of the doors was open. And then it looked kind of odd, but I didn't think anything of it. I just thought maybe one of my staff left the door open.
But when Regis saw the back door propped open with one of their speakers, something felt definitely off. It was when his wife reviewed footage from their surveillance cameras.
She noticed that the POS system wasn't there, and the register too as well. So she called and said somebody broke into the place because it's missing.
Regis says taken was various items to include the POS system and register, DJ equipment, and bottles of alcohol. Luckily, the register only had about $20 in tip money.
We're still trying to reconcile and see what else that they could have taken.
In all, about 6 or 7 bags of items was taken from Uptown. Regis just grateful none of his staff was present and no one was hurt.
But they were bold because, man, they had no... They weren't scared. They didn't really cover up their face or try to, block from the cameras.
Regis took to Instagram, posting the footage with several reposting in hopes that thieves are caught.
I felt so love from the support from everybody else, family, friends, or even just random people just, showing their concerns and stuff like that. And it just showed that, how much, the people care, and stuff like that too. So it really meant a lot to us.
If you have any information on the break-in, you can call GPD Dispatch at 671-475-8544 or the Guam Crime Stoppers. His message to the community, be vigilant, and if you see something, say something. As to the culprits,
I hope that they, find a way to change their ways and try to be a better person in life. So just pray for them.
Jonah Gacharfris, KUAM News.
Well, you may have heard the loud booms in the recent weeks leading up to the New Year's celebration.
The sounds have drawn concerns for some. Over the weekend, a group of children were captured firing off a makeshift cannon in a Tamuning neighborhood. But the chief of police cautions the public his officers will be looking out for those illegally firing into the air.
6 children are captured walking a Tamuning neighborhood over the weekend. Neighbors hearing what they thought was gunfire. The video capturing the source of it after one child is seen doing this. a makeshift cannon, the child goes back to the group before another boy is then seen doing the same thing while aiming the cannon toward private property. The loud bang, even too much for the child, who then covers his ears in pain after firing off the cannon. Police responded and counseled the children and their parents for the nuisance. Then, in Dededo, fireworks are captured in a neighborhood off Alligator Road. It's the situation many are seeing across the island. Loud bangs and firearms going off. The community clearly excited about ringing in 2025, but the public is being warned that certain activities are against the law. Guam Police Chief Stephen Ignacio.
As we get closer and we gear up for the New Year's Day celebration, New Year's Eve celebration, we again advise people, there are firearms laws that do dictate where you can discharge your firearms.
Ignacio telling KUAM his officers have been responding to reports of revelers celebrating early.
If you are going to go out and celebrate, take cover, under a hardened facility, and try and stay away, from the illegal fireworks and the illegal firearms discharge.
Guam law states any person in the business of importing, dealing, distributing, storing, or otherwise receiving consumer fireworks shall obtain a license from the Guam Fire Department. It cannot be sold to anyone under the age of 18, and every fireworks device or the packaging in which they are sold has the word caution or warning.
I don't know yet that there's any vendors out there that are legally selling fireworks. I'm not sure what that law is yet with the administrative rules of the Guam Fire Department. But should you be discharging your fireworks, make sure that they are licensed or authorized to be discharged, and always practice safety.
Anyone caught breaking the fireworks law faces fines anywhere from $100 to $5,000 based on the number of offenses.
There's just one day left for GovGuam to encumber over $100 million of American Rescue Plan funds before they lose it.
Adelup says they're confident all the ARP funds will be obligated by tomorrow's deadline. Mitsuki Hirayama has the details.
The looming deadline for GovGuam to obligate millions of dollars from the American Rescue Plan Act is just a day away. As you may recall, Guam received over $500 million of the COVID recovery funds from the U.S. Treasury in 2021. That has whittled down to some $100 million Governor Lilian Guerrero saved for her proposed medical complex and new hospital in Mangilao. As reported, the federal funds are at risk over a legal dispute between the governor and attorney general, with both blaming each other. Plus, the Guam Memorial Hospital also has $20 million they've been rushing against the clock to encumber. But Adelup and GMH leadership both say they're confident they will obligate all ARP funds by the December 31st deadline.
We don't want to, return that money because we need it, to get all the repairs and the replacement of our critical infrastructure, plus critical medical equipment, because we need to keep this hospital operational for another 5-7 years until that new hospital is built.
GMH CEO and Administrator Lillian Perez Posada says she had a meeting with the governor last week to make sure the funds are on track for the hospital's critical capital improvement projects. Posada says out of 52 projects, a majority have already been completed and obligated for.
Most of the projects, the critical CIP, such as the AHUs, the HVACs, the envelope and roof repair, the chillers and all its associated components like the cooling towers, the PICSIS, which is the automated medication dispensing system, those have been obligated.
GMH is also working on expanding its parking lot, upgrading HVAC chilled water systems, and replacing hospital beds. But at least one key project won't be getting completed. She admits the renovations for the maternal and child health services is facing a roadblock.
Unfortunately, we issued the IFB for a contractor to move forward with that construction. Unfortunately, no bidders, no contractors have come forward so that we're going to probably have to reissue again.
GMH had earmarked about $1.5 million in ARP monies for its architecture and engineering certification. But Posadas remains confident the ARP monies won't go to waste.
Absolutely. We're following through, and the governor's following through with their commitment for that 20 million ARPA funds. We will spend it.
Meantime, when KUAM reached out to Adelup, they said they will share details on all the ARP allocations soon. Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
Thanks, Suki. Well, the 37th Guam legislature held their final session today discussing final pieces of legislation for the cycle. Among them was bill vetoed by the governor that hoped to tackle criminal liability in child abuse and assault cases for juveniles.
It failed to get the votes for an override. Nevaeh Anderson reports.
Over the weekend, Governor Lou Leon Guerrero vetoed Bill 351, calling it unconstitutional. She says the bill seeks to charge children accused of criminal sexual conduct and sentence them as adults. But the bill's co-author, Senator Frank Blas Jr., clarifies.
This piece of legislation would allow the courts its discretion, not mandatory, its discretion to be able to proceed to prosecute that individual for the crime that he committed as a minor but is now an adult.
In her veto message, the governor says these youthful offenders should be given an opportunity to change their lives. Senator Joanne Brown disagrees.
Well, in those cases, we allow the judge to make that determination. And while this is a difficult issue, and it is a difficult issue, we need to determine the standards of this community that this behavior is unacceptable, especially when these children are harmed and harmed for life.
Speaker Therese Terlahi reiterating that the bill only gives the court jurisdiction to prosecute.
The individual sentences that the governor is concerned about, she's concerned about this bill because it might allow the courts to impose lifetime sentences for someone who committed rape while he was under the age of 18. Well, that's not us. We are not sentencing. We are leaving it to the courts to sentence, and nothing in this bill mandates a court to do anything.
Senator Will Parkinson raising concern about the statute of limitations.
If somebody predated on somebody when they're 14 years old and we discover it when they're 20, this bill does not bring justice to them because the statute of limitations would have passed. It does not solve the problem at hand. I was willing to roll the dice on unconstitutionality to put protections in place. But if it's unconstitutional, if it's potentially unconstitutional, and it doesn't even solve the problem, I'm having trouble getting behind that.
Senator Joe San Augustine says victims deserve justice regardless of when they report the crime, especially those who were too young to report when it occurred.
The statute of limitations reduces the opportunity for prosecution. That's what worries me.
In closing, Senator Blas once again asked his colleagues for their support in overriding the veto.
This is actually occurring. Before it occurs again, let's strengthen our statutes, strengthen our laws to ensure that the perpetrator gets the proper punishment and the victim sees that justice does prevail.
Ultimately, it failed to get the votes needed with only 9 supporting, 5 opposing, and 1 excused. Nevaeh Anderson, KUAM News.
Well, the governor let 2 measures lapse into law. Bill 272, which would modernize the retention and dissemination of the procurement record and promoting transparency and efficiency in GovGuam, lapsed into law, along with Bill 276, which requires all Guam Department of Education superintendent reports submitted to the Education Board be posted on the GDOE website.
9 other bills were signed over the weekend. This includes Bill 263, which transfers land from Parks and Recreation to the Chalampago Ordot Mayor, Bill 332, relative to the virtual power plant program, Bill 337, which authorizes the governor to condemn and buy 1,149 square meters in Asan Maina for a necessary drainage ditch and ponding basin. Additionally, the governor signed Bill 368 into law, which allocated funds for renovation and maintenance of the Department of Corrections facilities, and substitute Bill 365, which establishes the Guam Uniform Limited Cooperative Association Act. To view the list of news laws, visit KUAM.com. honoring the legacy of a leader and public servant who dedicated his life to the people of Guam. The late Jose Pito Terlahi served our island with unwavering courage and commitment. From his days as a U.S. Army combat veteran during the Vietnam War to his leadership in the Guam Police Department, serving as a mayor of Jotnya and a service in the Guam legislature, Terlahi exemplified what it means to serve with honor.
To honor his contributions, Senator Chris Barnett introduced a bill to rename the Hoggett Southern Precinct as the Senator Jose T. Pito Terlahi Police Station. The measure received unanimous support from his fellow senators, and on Friday afternoon, in a private ceremony surrounded by Terlahi's family, Governor Lulian Guerrero put pen to paper and signed the bill into law. This tribute ensures his enduring legacy of justice, public safety, and service is remembered for generations to come. Up next, former President Jimmy Carter dies at 100.
Plus, the latest on that deadly crash in South Korea. You're watching KUAM.
GU Self-Storage, located in Harmon next to McDonald's, offers a variety of storage units. With rates starting as low as $75 per month, we offer complimentary use of dollies, push carts, appliance hand trucks, and pallet jacks with fully covered loading and unloading areas and ADA accessible unit. We offer 24-hour CCTV surveillance, monitoring alarm, and individual PIN-coded gate and door access because your safety is our priority. Visit GU Self-Storage in Harmon or call 671-648-7867 for more information.
Jamaican grill. What's for lunch and for dinner? You want something good? Yeah man, serious food. Jamaican grill, Jamaican grill, Jamaican grill. What's for lunch and for dinner? You want something good? Yeah man, serious food. Happy birthday, D-I-R-F-D-A-Y. Happy birthday, Jamaican grill. Yeah man, serious food.
Welcome back to KUAM News Primetime. Jimmy Carter, the 39th President of the United States, has died at the age of 100.
Carter's death came after a February 2023 announcement that he had decided to enter hospice care and spend his remaining time at home with family after a series of short hospital stays. Mark Barger reports.
I, Jimmy Carter, do solemnly swear.
Jimmy Carter personified the American dream, rising from farm life in the rural South to become the 39th President of the United States. He was born and raised in the small hamlet of Plains, Georgia. After serving in the U.S. Navy, he returned home to Plains and made a success of the family's peanut farm. He also met Rosalind Smith, the woman who became not only his wife, but his closest advisor. Carter began his political career as a Georgia state senator before winning the governorship.
The time for racial discrimination is over.
He ordered a portrait of Martin Luther King Jr. displayed in the Georgia Capitol.
My name is Jimmy Carter, and I'm running for president.
Carter's 1974 campaign for the White House began as the longest of long shots. In the wake of Watergate and Vietnam, his appeal as a straight-shooting Washington outsider grew, and he narrowly defeated Gerald Ford in 1976. The Carter presidency was highlighted by the Camp David Agreement, bringing a once unthinkable peace between Egypt and Israel. But economic recession and high interest rates crippled Carter's term in office, and the Iranian hostage crisis devastated it. Americans grew frustrated with Carter's handling of the situation, including an aborted rescue attempt that eroded confidence in his leadership. Republicans capitalized in 1980 as Ronald Reagan's sunny optimism ended Carter's re-election bid with a resounding victory. But from that defeat, a remarkable second act. Private citizen Carter began a new career, helping build homes for the poor in America, making Habitat for Humanity an international name, even while focusing on global humanitarian causes. In 2002, Jimmy Carter won the coveted Nobel Peace Prize. But in 2015, at the age of 90, he announced he was diagnosed with melanoma, which had spread to his brain.
But I was surprisingly at ease. You know, I've had a wonderful life. I've had thousands of friends.
Carter underwent cancer treatment and recovered, remaining active well into his 90s, teaching Sunday school at his South Georgia church. Even after suffering a series of falls, Carter's resilience allowed him to continue building homes for Habitat.
I'd say peace and human rights and treating everybody the same has been what I hope will be my legacy.
By the end of his life, Jimmy Carter had won the deep respect and admiration of not only Americans, but people around the world. Mark Barger, NBC News.
And the Democratic Party of Guam stating, quote, "It is with profound sadness that we join the nation over the passing of Jimmy Carter, the 39th President of the United States, who died peacefully today at his home in Plains, Georgia, at the age of 100. Adding in 1978, President Carter transmitted Guam's proposed constitution to Congress, underscoring his support for the island's political development. Additionally, in the 1980s United States presidential straw poll in Guam, President Carter received significant support, securing over 55% of the vote, reflecting the island's favorable view of his leadership. President Carter's legacy is one of integrity, compassion, and unwavering service to humanity. His contributions have left an indelible mark on the world, and he will be deeply missed. Guam delegate James Moylan also extending his condolences, echoing the work of the former president.
Adelup also issuing a statement on President Carter's passing, Governor Lulian Guerrero stating in part, as the 39th President of the United States, Jimmy Carter served with a deep moral conviction and a commitment to peace, democracy, and human rights. His leadership during a time of great challenges reflected his belief in the power of diplomacy, compassion, and service to bridge divides and bring about meaningful change. Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio adding Guam joins the nation and the world in honoring his remarkable contributions. May we continue to draw inspiration from his vision for a better, fairer, and more peaceful world.
And in other news, a deadly plane crash in South Korea has claimed the lives of more than 160 people. A passenger jet burst into flames after it skidded off a runway.
Bradley Blackburn has the breaking details from overnight, as we should warn you, the images are disturbing.
Video shows the moment the Jeju Airlines passenger jet touched down in Muon, South Korea, the belly of the jet skidding on the tarmac before it slams into a concrete wall, exploding into a fireball. Flight 2216 was carrying 175 passengers from Bangkok, Thailand. Rescue crews immediately launched a search for survivors. At least 2 crew members were pulled out of the wreckage alive and conscious, but officials say most of the people on board died in the fire. The airline apologized and said the 15-year-old Boeing 737-800 jet was up to date on its maintenance. The early focus of the investigation is on why landing gear appeared to malfunction. Officials have recovered the plane's black box with flight data and cockpit voice recordings and said the air control tower had issued a bird strike warning to the plane before landing. In a statement, Boeing said it is in contact with the airline and, quote, "We extend our deepest condolences to the families who lost loved ones, and our thoughts remain with the passengers and crew." The disaster comes just days after another passenger jet from Azerbaijan Airlines crashed in Kazakhstan. 29 people survived, but 38 others were killed. On Saturday, Russian President Vladimir Putin apologized to the Azerbaijani president. A Kremlin statement said air defense systems were firing near the airport as the plane attempted to land.
And the South Korea crash is one of the deadliest landing accidents since 2007, when 187 people were killed after a jet in Brazil slid off a runway. Well, now to a growing rift in President-elect Donald Trump's inner circle. Trump expressing his support for H-1B visas, which are usually granted to immigrant tech workers. The New York Post quoting Trump as saying, "I have many H-1B visas on my properties," and that he has always been in favor of the visas.
It comes amid a very public division on the issue of visas among some of his biggest supporters. NBC's Aaron Gilchrist reports.
Tonight, an immigration cyber battle brewing among supporters of President-elect Donald Trump. Far-right activist Laura Loomer taking to X to slam Trump's new artificial intelligence advisor, Sriram Krishnan, for his past support of easing restrictions on skilled foreign workers coming to the U.S. Loomer launching a series of posts such as, "Our country was built by white Europeans, actually, not third-world invaders from India." Other MAGA figures like Steve Bannon joining in.
It's about taking American jobs and bringing over essentially what become indentured servants at lower wages.
The controversy is over H-1B visas, a program that lets foreigners with highly coveted tech skills work in the U.S. for up to 6 years. A program applauded and defended by some of Mr. Trump's closest advisors, including Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, and others in the tech industry, which is heavily reliant on foreign skilled workers. Musk responding to the online barrage by saying, if you want your team to win the championship, you need to recruit top talent wherever they may be.
I think this is sort of a pregame, a sign of things to come. These tensions between the sort of what you could call the populist nationalist wing of the Republican Party and the new tech elite.
While Trump has promised a hard line on illegal immigration and mass deportation, many in the tech industry are pushing him to expand legal immigration for high-skilled workers, an idea he's hinted he's open to for foreign students.
Somebody graduates at the top of the class, they can't even make a deal with a company because they don't think they're going to be able to stay in the country. That is going to end on day one.
At some point, something's got to give. They got to decide what is the orientation of immigration policy. Is it going to focus on attracting the best talent to the country, or a more protectionist model where we put up fences?
Aaron Gilchrist, NBC News, Washington.
Well, good riddance.
Good riddance.
Right? So let's let it out, right? Well, for almost 20 years, New York City's annual Good Riddance Day has offered an emotional release for participants who are erasing the bad in hopes of a better new year.
Christy Galician has the story.
Yeah, doesn't that feel good?
Wiping the slate clean for 2025 is the theme for the 18th annual Good Riddance Day.
It was awesome just getting rid of that feeling, like just throwing it away.
These goodbyes ranged from medical treatments to conflicts at home, like 13-year-old Mason Riddle from Alabama who wants to get rid of arguing with his mom. Does it happen often?
Every day.
Mom Jessica Riddle agrees.
I mean, that would be great. He would argue with a brick wall, so.
She shares that raising 2 boys is not easy and is looking to rid herself of self-doubt.
As a single mom, I doubt myself every day as if I'm doing the right thing or if I'm raising them right. And, you know, I just want to enjoy life.
Some wanted to get rid of specific people. Others made lists, like John Pevsner from Brooklyn.
Trying to get rid of the negativity, toxic people, and a little money is good too.
You wish there was more room on there?
Yeah, you know, why not get a little more?
Participants who braved the rain also seem to want to get rid of procrastination, which was a popular one, along with, of course, hoping to rid themselves of financial worries.
I'm looking for a better job so that I can make more money, so that I could be wealthier like everybody else who banked on Bitcoin.
This might be personal, but what would you do with that extra money?
I would invest it, you know, to make more money.
Participants don't only get to physically erase their Good Riddance messages, they can also see them dissolve on this screen right here.
We've burned things, we've smashed things, and this is the new rendition where we have a QR code. We're very high tech this year. You're able to scan a QR code and it'll go up on the screen.
If you still want to send your Good Riddance to the screen, it'll be up until midnight Monday morning. In Times Square, Christy Galician, CBS News, New York.
Get ready for another KUAM News special, this one highlighting the top stories of 2024. That's a wrap. It's the name of the show your KUAM News team is bringing to your screens to end out the year.
On Tuesday, that's tomorrow, December 31st, watch as we look back at the top stories to hit our airwaves in 2024. From a historic election season to the games in Paris, 2024 was filled with highs and lows and impacted us all here in the Marianas. Watch That's a Wrap top stories of 2024 on New Year's Eve at 6:30 p.m. following KUAM News Primetime on TV8, KUAM's YouTube channel, and on Peacock.
Now for your world at home.
Here's a view captured of last Monday's sunrise of 2024.
The last Monday's sunrise.
The last.
This holiday season begins at Kmart, where every aisle is filled with magic. Discover the perfect toy that sparks joy and gifts that bring smiles. Kmart has all the ingredients you need to make your family traditions special without breaking the bank. From trimming the tree to filling your home with holiday cheer, you'll find it all in one place. Discover the magic waiting for you at Kmart, where busy families find everything they need to make memories that last a lifetime. Kmart, for the holidays, for the family, for the magic.
Holiday Familia. As the Christmas lights twinkle and the sound of holiday music fills the air, it is the perfect time to reflect on what makes this season so special. In the hustle of shopping and those long holiday lines, think about the joy in the smiles you'll see on Christmas morning as the gifts are unwrapped. While picking up groceries for the feast, imagine the laughter and love shared around the table with the people who mean the most. And as you trim your trees and decorate your homes, we hope that the magic of the season creates memories that will last a lifetime. This holiday season, we invite you to embrace the spirit of giving, because after all, life is sweeter when you give a little love. From your entire Banco Guam familia, Feliz Pascua and Viva Año Nuevo. May your season be filled with love, joy, and everything that makes life sweeter.
This holiday, would you rather buy this TV or get one for free? For a limited time only, bring home a free 43-inch Samsung Smart TV when you sign up on Link with DTV Plus today. Just imagine your favorite movies, shows, and more, all in stunning quality on your brand new screen. Visit DocomoPacific.com or see us in store to learn more. Docomo Pacific, better together.
Tangy pickles, slivered onions, tender pork covered in our delicious barbecue sauce and topped on a home-style bun. Behold, the McRib. It's not just a sandwich, it's an experience altogether. The McRib returns. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
All right, congratulations to the boys over at Clutch because they have launched Clutch Music and their first musical event. Check this out. This is going to be big. January 18th, Island Feels in the Hills. It's at the Leo Palace. The Green will be headlining along with local artists. Get your tickets now at clutch-music.com. It's presented by the Leo Palace and GVB. Tickets are on sale at guamtime.net for Skip Entertainment Company's Dancing Through Christmas. They are 40 years into providing amazing entertainment. They've won every single award here and on the mainland, and Skip is awesome, and they are going to bring you a holiday dance extravaganza. Make sure to hit up guamtime.net again and get those tickets. All right, if you have a love for the theater, check out UOG Theater because they are holding auditions for Gaslight. Gaslighting for Good. It is a thing. Tell your friends and make sure to get tickets for this wonderful event. 2 males and 3 women are needed for the play. Auditions on January 2nd and 3rd at UOG Theater starting at 6 p.m. Almost New Year, everybody. So we got a few more days to do awesome things right here on News Bites.
Time to celebrate some birthdays with your Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club,
which you can submit on KUAM.com.
Hey guys, my calendar says 12/30/2024, and that also means it's a birthday for Herbert Parr. So happy birthday, Herbert! And your shout out says, take a break and relax at least for this day because, dude, you're always on work mode. So Herbert, we wish you a wonderful, wonderful birthday and maybe take a little of kickback time. And we hope your friends and family celebrate you because today is your birthday. Hope you have a good one.
That's your primetime show. Thanks for watching. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz-Lingus. Have a safe evening and stay beautiful.
Buenas and Halfaday, Guam. I'm Jonagan Charfris, and this is Policing the Parks. Now, I'm sure there are many of you that scoff when it comes to the idea of park police. But did you know that the island has over 60 parks and over 100 historical landmarks? And it's the park police that has the tough task of monitoring and ensuring safety at each and every one. In previous years, there were only 2 park police officers. In January, a graduation was held for the first cycle of the Department of Parks and Recreation Park Police Academy and became 9 strong. With there's still a need for assistance, a bill introduced by the late Senator Jose Pito Turlahi and Senator Tina Muñoz Barnes back in 2021 would make it possible to create a Park Police Reserve program. The bill would eventually become Law 36-3. And in March 2024, the first cycle of the Park Police Reserve Academy was launched. Wanting to take part in helping keep our island parks and streets safe, 10 men and women have signed up for the first ever Park Police Reserves Academy.
You guys will come from here. Present arms.
There's a lot of good people out there that want to contribute to the safety and security of our island.
The 10 are no strangers to public safety, as all of them are from other law enforcement agencies to include Department of Youth Affairs, Airport Police, and Department of Military Affairs. Colonel Joey Turlahi explains what the reservists can expect over the course of the 8 weeks.
They're going to be learning very basic police tactics. The first week is going to be basic officer survival. The second week will be judicious use of deadly force, then on to basic firearms training, police report writing, and on-the-job training.
Along with Turlocky, reservists are gaining a wealth of knowledge from experienced, trained, and well-respected individuals from the law enforcement community. Retired Chiefs James Marquez and Paul Suba, and retired Major Dave Saban from the Guam Police Department. The first week of the academy, reservists learned everything from handcuffing techniques.
From the what level? Watch this. I'm just gonna come up, do this, shake my hand, and there we go, without compromising my safety.
And closed out their week with felony high-risk pullover practicals, and learned that deadly force is force that could cause serious bodily injury or death. If a threat presents itself, deadly force options is a last resort, and officers should exhaust lower levels of force before deadly force is deployed. The threat to the officer or others has to be imminent, immediate, or otherwise unavoidable. The intent of this Reserves Academy is to augment regular park police officers, and Turlocky says that upon graduation,
they're all going to be Category 1 post-certified officers. They're going to be able to go out after the training, entertain complaints, make arrests, give citations, and patrol the streets, making it safe for everybody.
Ahead, reservists tackle collapsible batons and firearm safety.
How deep do Pizza Hut's roots run in the islands? Through all the decades, we know what you love. Great taste at an even better price. Like our large one-topping carry-out pizza for just $15.99. You choose your favorite topping, pepperoni, olives, sausage, or any other single topping. Our $15.99 large one-topping pizza. Order online and carry one out today. Only at Pizza Hut, the island's best.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Welcome back. Well, over the course of the next few weeks, the reservists got hands-on training with handcuff techniques, judicious use of deadly force, collapsible baton skills, and firearm safety. Check it out. The skills and techniques they acquire will help them fulfill the mission of the park police. Everything from handcuffing.
If his wrist is here, the octagon-shaped type single bar, application is here. Got it? If the wrist is this way, the application is this way. Got it? So it helps with the angle. The application, the angle's not this way. It's not. If you injure this guy, a cooperative guy, just be prepared for some civil coming down.
To judicious use of deadly force with retired Chief Marshal Edward Tovis.
You guys would learn real quick that it takes about 1.5 seconds to draw the weapon. One of you is going to be an acting suspect, armed with the plastic knife, training with the plastic knife. It's not real. And the person who's acting as the suspect needs to rush at the police officer.
What this course entails is letting the officer understand, of course, their job standards, that they have to take action in accordance with what the law and society expects for keeping the island safe. And of course, they also have to understand that, the excessive force part, they have to really understand. So the officer needs to understand everything that may possibly happen, what they will go through, in this career field. It's important that they know all of that.
Reservists also learned about control concepts, counter-striking, restraint systems, and weapons.
The goal is to disengage. You see what it's on the board there? That's your goal. I don't care how you do it, is to disengage from that person trying to grab your firearm, either from the front, rear, side, all right? And another thing that the retention you need to learn how to deal with is on the ground. We're just talking about ground fighting. Because most fights, eventually 80%, 85% of the time, it goes to the ground. And if you don't know what you're doing on the ground again, you're both on the ground, now he's reaching for your firearm. Very rare it should happen because I should be alert, but it does happen. Let's say you're assigned stationary in a carnival and you're walking in a crowd. How you doing, buddy? And he grabs. Oh man, now what, right? Right? Now what's gonna happen here? Same thing, I'm just gonna... Okay? Feed your hand under here, just like that. Grab. Feet man, right there. Bring him down. Then I can also move in and just take him down.
To even include impact weapon and the collapsible baton system.
The bottom end of the MEB is going to be pointed to the suspect, defendant, arrestee, or whoever is chin. It's not going to be out here because what we don't want to do is we don't want to telegraph the techniques inside. So this is all the stance is. It's the ready stance is right here. Again, it's not up here. It's not down here. It's right here on the side. Bottom end of the MEB pointed to the chin of your suspect. Got it?
From there, they closed out with felony and high-risk pullover practicals.
Coming up, report writing and understanding the law, and the reservists head into an intense week of the academy, probably their toughest one yet. Keep it here to Policing the Parks.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
Now, the next few weeks of the Park Police Reserve Academy, the reservists honed in on one of the most important aspects of the job, report writing. They also got some great information regarding criminal law.
The Park Police Reservists spent a couple of days learning about one of the more important responsibilities as an officer, report writing, spearheaded by Park Police Major Lawrence Osborne. Up next, Attorney Peter Santos spent 2 weeks covering criminal procedure and constitutional law for police. This particular portion was needed for the reservists to be post-certified.
Law enforcement is where the rubber meets the road, right? That's where the investigation phase takes place. That's where the evidence collection takes place. And all of that is governed by criminal procedure. And aside from criminal procedure, we also have constitutional rights. So unfortunately, in the last 5 years as a defense attorney, and before that being a prosecutor, I've noticed that many cases are getting tossed on technicalities. Now, whether or not it's lack of training and guidance or abuse of authority by police officers or law enforcement officers, right? Either way, whether it's lack of training, lack of guidance, or doing the wrong thing, none of that is acceptable, right? Because members of our society who choose to commit crime should be held accountable, and their cases should not get tossed on a technicality.
The last week of the academy saw reservists take on active shooter, threat training, and close quarter battle. Led by Chief Vince Napati of the Airport Police, he, along with the Special Enforcement Tactics team, set up scenarios.
Across the nation today, most especially the last incident with Robb Elementary School, we found the need to come back into training and to train our patrol officers, as well as our security guards at the airport, to our special operations side, and get everybody on the same page as far as training. Classroom is where it starts, and then we take them down and give them the introduction to close quarter battle, because not everybody's been trained tactically in active shooter environment, and most patrol guys or officers have been trained in basic CTB. So we bring them back to the baseline and allow them to come back and understand the CTB environment.
The training intense.
Up next, graduation.
So these are Taco Bell's new crispy chicken nuggets. What are we thinking? Anyone?
Juicy. I really like it.
Yeah, abomination.
So I think it tastes great. It's crispy. The sauce is good.
I personally like it.
Oh! I laughed because I thought it was a joke. Right, Mark?
Don't be a nuggetive Nelly. Everyone loves Taco Bell's new crispy chicken nuggets, even the person we paid not to.
Something is calling, and I can't help it. Let's don't belong when there ain't no soul. Watch me as I go. This is my mood when I make a move. Watch me as I go. This is my mood when let's take a break. There's no use. This is my mood when I make a move. This is my mood when
After 9 long weeks of classroom instruction, labs, hands-on training, the 21 men and women who make up the first ever Park Police Reserve Academy were pinned and sworn in on May 22nd in front of family, friends, and island dignitaries. This group not only completed all that was asked of them, but they also officially are post-certified.
6 key lessons learned from this story. Number 1, is be proactive. Number 2 is be responsible. Number 3, make the initiative. Number 4, work hard. Number 5, dedication in the face of adversity and challenges. And 6, always contribute to the environment so others can foster.
The story, an essay written by Albert Hubbard.